Hello there, and welcome to the War Factory for today, August the 30th. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, did I click on the wrong video? Is this a Dr. T or something? Why are there T-Meds on the field? What the heck is going on? Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you straight up, right now. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to explore, basically, and learn and try to improve myself as a player in the Boom Beach, and I wanted to see what max tanks could do to a war factory that has something insane on the health boost. Like, I want to say it's like 300%, like probably like 280 or whatever, but who cares? The point is, everything has a mountain of hit points and a mountain of damage, and I wanted to see what the tanks would pull off. And I thought, okay, this is going to be great. I've got a few easy defenses, I've got a bunch of boxes, and then I've got 2 boom cannons, and I've got a plan for the boom cannons. So, here's the plan for the boom cannons. Throw some smoke, get everything into the smoke, and then shoot at the boom cannons. Right? It actually kind of almost works. As you can see, everything's nice and poised. Now that one shock was supposed to hit both boom cannons, and in theory could hit both boom cannons, but unfortunately, because I noobed it up, it did not work out that way. Which is fine, I can accept that. You know, it's a learning situation. I am literally sacrificing my troops on purpose. But then I thought, okay, we came out of this fairly good. We're a couple tanks down, but not a big deal. We're a couple meds down. Again, not a big deal. We've got tons of damage, and we're ready to do this. So I thought for sure that I could just kind of farm this corner with my tanks, get a whole bunch of GBE, maybe even take out some mortars that I wanted to take out for, you know, my next attack, and do some things. And you know what? It did not work. It did not work at all. It was nothing like what I had hoped for and anticipated. Taking out all of the buildings just took way too long because they had way too much hit points. And you know what? That's okay. I don't mind basically wasting this attack in 500 gold to learn a little bit more about the limitations of the tanks. You know, if I could do it again, would I? Probably not. I'd whip out the hookah, because I think the hookah would have gotten through there a lot quicker and done a lot more damage, and probably done everything I wanted it to do. But, hey, that's okay. Learning is part of the game. It's actually part of the most fun part of the game, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I did retreat. I threw down what little GBE I had left. I was fortunately able to take out some of the mortars, but not all. And then attack number 2 was GBE attack. And honestly, that first attack, you don't even have to do. You could go straight to the GBE attack and blow up these mortars and blow up the other mortars, because as you can see, I have a mountain of GBE left. But because I have this and things are a little different than your attack, I was like, okay, I'm going to get smart. I'm going Smooka right into the middle of those rocket launchers. I'm going to throw some artillery on the rocket launchers, damage them. I have one that's at full health. I'm going to flare onto that. It'll die. The other 2 are going to be damaged. My Zookas will automatically turn to them, blow them up. Everything's going to be fantastic. I'm going to win. The world's going to be great. Yay! And then I was like, alright, you know what? I've got a little bit of extra GBE still. I'm just going to throw it at these flamethrowers to, you know, make it easier for me to get through them when I actually need to get through them. And I know some people out there just facepalm themselves because they know exactly what I just did. And honestly, I knew what I was doing to myself also, but I thought that the proximity of the rocket launchers would take precedence over the increased damage, like a maroon, and, well, you'll see what happens. So there are a couple of mistakes in this attack. Mistake number 1 is I misplaced my smoke right there. It was a little high. And as you can see, all the Zookas coming off of that boat just get shredded. Which is fine, you know, I can live with that. We move around it and move on to the final destination. But then, mistake number 2 happens. they weren't clumped up as tightly as I had hoped, so I tried to re-flare them back down and then flare them onto the rocket launcher, hoping that everything would stay tighter, and as you can see here, because I was still flaring things around, the defenses had a heyday with my poor Zookas. And then because I damaged those flamethrowers all too much, my Zookas were like, let's blow up the flamethrowers instead of the rocket launchers. Yeah. I chalk it up to a boatload of learning during that attack, because honestly, that's what War Factory is. That's what people need to use War Factory as. It's not, oh, I can finish this in the fewest attacks and I have to kill the fewest people and blah blah. You know, unless you're already a pro, and hey, absolutely, I know there are people out there that are super pros, they're the best at Boom Beach, and no one is as good as them. I am not that person. I am still very much learning this game. As far as I'm concerned, I am a completely average player, maybe even a little below average, because there are a lot of things that, you know, being a turtle, I didn't get to experience in the lower levels, so I experience them now, and I tell you, they're a lot more expensive to learn now than when you're a low level. But I did a buttload of learning, and this means that my next op, I'm not going to have to learn during my op. I have already learned in the War Factory, and I can take that knowledge forward and kick some butt. And as you can see, the War Factory is falling. It could have been done in 2 Smooka attacks if, you know, someone had done it with some skill, and maybe 1 GBE or 2 GBE attacks, but let's not get into that. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been entertaining. And most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.